What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another episode of the 5 Takeaways, where we're going to take a look at the weekend's game, the weekend win against Leeds United 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and see what 5 points we can take away from that victory in a game which was definitely a game of two halves. I know we use cliches a lot, but that was definitely relevant for the game yesterday. And let's get on to the first takeaway, and that is Lucas' impact.
So Lucas Moura yesterday, a game of two halves for Tottenham, was definitely a game of two halves for him. And in the first half, he was guilty of being very wasteful, being dispossessed a number of times, 6 times in fact in the first half, more than any other player. And he was having a difficult afternoon, but in the second half he really changed it up. He upped his game. He was involved in four of Tottenham's best moments yesterday, when we hit the post and the bar, and obviously the 2 goals. He completed 3 key passes, more than any other player on the pitch, was completed 3 dribbles as well, more than any other player, and was fouled 4 times, including the free kick for the goal, and also grabbed an assist for Højbjerg's goal, which got us back in the game. So all in all, Lucas Moura very much dragging us back into the game yesterday.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And you know, like you say, in the first half he was pretty wasteful, but definitely massively improved, like you say, central to pretty much all good things going forward for Tottenham yesterday, and grabbing himself an assist in the doing as well. So big up to Lucas Moura. These are the kind of performances we want to see. We want to see him making an impact in the final third, because how many times have we said, you know, he's full of running, but doesn't really impact things in the final third. And after getting that assist yesterday, probably could have had more assists as well if there was better quality finishes yesterday. So big up Lucas Moura. Let's go on to the second takeaway, and that is wing-back influence.
So obviously we all know the wing-backs are such a massive feature of the way Conte likes to play, and they showed again yesterday how much of an impact they can have. Reguilon leading the way for crosses with 6 crosses, most interceptions as well with 3, also making 1 tackle and 2 clearances, with Emerson on the other hand making a mammoth 7 tackles, which was first on the pitch by a long way, while also making 4 crosses and 1 interception. And it's showing how much of an influence the fullbacks can have on the game, especially in this system under Conte, and how far forward they get. They get in all these positions, making many crosses, but also defensively they got a lot of responsibility, and they're there to dominate their wings. And I think at the moment Emerson and Reguilon are doing a decent job.
Yeah, I think definitely Reguilon yesterday. Reguilon was absolutely brilliant yesterday, non-stop running, a bit like Roadrunner. And you know, when you're talking about Emerson, it wasn't his greatest display yesterday, but how many times did you see him in really important positions where if you would have found him, could have been a much different story and could have got a lot more goals? I mean, like I said, I don't think Emerson had a good display yesterday, but it just shows how important these wing-backs are to our system at the moment. So that is the second takeaway. Let's move on to the third takeaway, and that is no pain, no gain.
So as we saw in the first half, Spurs were really kept at arm's length by Leeds, and despite outrunning Leeds, they only outran them by 0.5 kilometres, and it led to Leeds being able to have some sort of control in the game. Even though we still outran them, it was only by a minimal amount, and we weren't able to really dominate and gain control of the game, giving Leeds way too much possession and chasing the ball around a bit too much. In the second half, it was a different story. We outran Leeds by 3.7 kilometres in the second half, and that showed that extra bit of intensity, that extra bit of running, and the extra bit of aggression, getting stuck into challenges and making sure we won the ball back as quickly as possible, allowed us to sustain the pressure, allowed us to keep Leeds penned back in their own half, and got us to victory at the end of the day. And it was an extra bit of effort in the second half which probably won us the game.
Yeah, and absolutely night and day from what we've seen this season, because we've been outrun by pretty much most teams we've played this season, and that's been a key failing in Spurs this season in terms of intensity and effort on the pitch, and we're definitely starting to see that now. Conte is at the helm. So let's move on to the fourth takeaway, and that is midfield battle.
So interestingly enough, yesterday obviously we had Højbjerg and Winks in the midfield battle yesterday up against Leeds midfield, which obviously depleted due to injuries. But Spurs seem to very much concentrate their defensive energy in the centre of the park, and this would go bear down the stats where it's Tottenham. They made the most tackles and the most pressures in the middle of the park than in any other game this season for Tottenham. So we very much concentrated our defensive efforts in the middle of the park, winning that midfield battle, and obviously with the wings being dominated by our fullbacks, it was very imperative that we didn't allow Leeds any joy in the centre, because we knew if we can restrict them there, then we have a lot of quality all over the pitch. So I think that's exactly what we did. We made more tackles than in any other game this season in the middle of the park, and that's where we seem to concentrate ourselves.
Yeah, I felt like we did lose the midfield battle in the first half. I thought our midfield was next to non-existent, but Højbjerg and Skip really did grow in influence throughout the game, and that bears out in the stats that you're talking about. So yeah, the midfield battle was most definitely won that second half. So let's move on to the last takeaway, the fifth and final takeaway, which is a not scary gap.
That's according to Conte. Well, he says also Spurs are up to 7th now in the league after 12 games. Only 4 points off the top four, with West Ham, Arsenal and Man United all losing this weekend. Conte says he knows there's a gap. He's aware of the gap between us and the top four teams, but he is not scared by this gap. And that's his focus, is completely on closing it and making sure we're in the Champions League. Now, are you scared of the gap?
No, I'm not scared of the gap. I mean, if you may be getting more resurgent Man United now, seeing as Ollie's gone, then maybe because they've got a lot more quality than us in their squad. But as it stands right now, Man United not doing well. Arsenal, I'm not scared of them whatsoever. West Ham are going well this season, but I do feel like a bad run might be around, maybe not like around the corner right now, but I do think we're better than West Ham, and I think we've got a better squad than West Ham.
They're definitely not like ungettable, you know
exactly.
What I mean?
So I think it's between those teams for the top four. I don't really put Arsenal in that conversation. So in my opinion, it's between us, West Ham and Man United, with a lot of football left to play. I'm not saying we're definitely going to get it, but I think there's a high chance that we can get it.
Especially if we can continue on with Conte improving and the players getting better and more used to the system. The only way is up, and that's the most crucial thing.
Definitely. All right, so that is our 5 takeaways from the 2-1 win at home to Leeds yesterday. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any other takeaways, or just let us know your comments on our takeaways in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.